Welcome guys, we've had the Brazilian Grand Prix sprint race and well, it wasn't a classic. I got all the build up for that one, didn't we? Some news ahead of this race though. Ollie Bearman will take over the seat of Kevin Magnussen for the full race weekend. Kevin Magnussen not well, and Ollie's got another opportunity to show how brilliant a job he can do. He did a great job in sprint qualifying yesterday in the sprint race. So wasn't it? But it wasn't a mega race by any means. Let's take a quick look back at the start. Max Verstappen locking up into turn one, tried to move on Ferrari. Luckily he didn't take him out or take himself out, did he really, on that one? The big mover on that one, Nico Hülkenberg up 3 places into P9. It was a bad start for Lewis Hamilton, dropped down 3 places, and Alex Albon as well down into P11. But from there on, it looked, well, fairly steady, wasn't it? Verstappen looked quick, and I think it was the right call from McLaren. I don't know if they did this purposely or just the Ferraris had good pace early on, where Charles Leclerc was able to stick in the DRS of Lando Norris, who got the DRS of Oscar Piastri up front, and the 4 of them, the DRS train, kind of helped Leclerc keep Verstappen off his back. And did they miss a trick there? There was an opportunity with one lap where, you know, they could have done the switch of Piastri and Norris and then played the DRS train game all the way to the end of the race, and that would have given Norris, you know, that extra point. He needs every single point he can get. Did they miss a trick on that one? Possibly so, especially with that late VSC. Would have given a bit of respite for Leclerc also. But in and behind the top 3, though, was quite disappointing, wasn't it? There was big gaps. Slow was Carlos Sainz. He was, 3.5 seconds up the top 4 very early on by lap 10. In and behind that, George Russell was comfortably slow behind that. And then Pierre Gasly, who actually had a really good race, came home in P7, some points for that team. And again, yeah, he was comfortably slow behind. Sergio Perez, who finished 8th in the points, was the main man making all the moves, wasn't he? Had a good battle with Liam Lawson again. He went and made a lock-up and went wide one time, and that was pretty much the race from there. Lap 18, Max Verstappen made the move on Charles Leclerc, and well, like I said, I think McLaren really should have kept the DRS train, look, just like what we've seen Carlos Sainz do all them years ago and win the race in Singapore with Lando Norris as a buffer. I think McLaren should have stole that trick and used it to their advantage to try and keep Leclerc ahead of Verstappen. I know I'm kind of looking at over the shoulder with the constructors as well, but you've got to, you know, they would have taken a 1-2 and extra points out of Verstappen, which would have been really, really good for them. And Verstappen was fast is the other key take from this one, isn't it? It was comfortable, 24 laps within DRS. You thought they might chew their tyres, but he was able to follow fairly comfortably. Got in the DRS of the McLarens, so in race trim, if he can have a good qualifying, the best he can hope for is pole and then 5th from there. I don't think over 1 lap he's got the pace, but definitely in the race. And as he's seen with his teammate, overtaking is definitely possible. He just needs to hope he doesn't lose too much time getting stuck or in scruffy battles, or just avoid lap 1 turn 1 incident, isn't it? Really, that's what he's got to do. Keep his nose clean, make it around, and then he can pick everybody off. And then I think looking at his race pace in for the sprint, for the race, he should, you know, comfortably be 3rd on the podium. McLaren's just look in another league, especially over 1 lap, and then there is clearly now a gap. Ferrari seem to have lost their pace a little bit. This circuit probably not suiting them as well as I probably thought they would, but they carry good momentum. Some strategy tomorrow or a good lap from Charles Leclerc can possibly help him if he can split one of the McLarens in qualifying later on. That might help them out. And yeah, they did the switch in the end. McLaren, they probably were panicked a little bit when they seen the yellow flag of Nico Hülkenberg, who DNF'd, come out, and then we got the VSC, so they picked the right moment. Literally, had they not done it at that time, there would have been a VSC, and then real struggle because Verstappen was right on the tail of Oscar Piastri going up the line, and he would have been right behind Lando Norris, and there wouldn't have been an opportunity then to let Norris or pass without there being the threat of Verstappen taking the pair of them, or at least one McLaren. The 1-2 was ultimately all crucial. So I'm surprised McLaren left that a little bit later. They could have done it comfortably 7 or 8 laps earlier and avoided this whole scenario that potentially could have played out. But we've got Max Verstappen getting potentially a penalty for a VSC infringement. He went right up alongside Oscar Piastri when the VSC was ending. Now the rules are that you're not allowed. They did this post 21 where we used to see Verstappen right alongside Lewis Hamilton on safety car restarts. Under VSC, you're not allowed to even go alongside. So the fact that he's breached that, he was clearly alongside. They nearly touched. I think that was maybe a bit dramatic, but they were close. And Verstappen, the brilliant champion that he is, did everything he could to try and help himself to take the place off a McLaren. We've seen this done before, but the rules are clear now that you can't go alongside another car. He did that. Whether they will penalise him, it is a 5-second penalty. He'll lose a place to Charles Leclerc. So if they follow the rules by the book, then for all intents and purposes, Max Verstappen should get a penalty. But I'd kind of hate to see penalties given out for something as minor as that. He kind of got caught out a little bit. I know he was trying his luck. Went up alongside him and tried the pass. It didn't come off, but yeah, let's see what happens with that. We've got the qualifying up next. It should be brilliant. The sprint got all the hype. Wasn't as stunning by any means at all. Brazil normally delivers better than that. So let's hope for more in qualifying. But the race should be brilliant. Max Verstappen has a 5-place grid penalty, so wherever he qualifies will be 5 places back. So it should be an exciting race. But there we have it. A 1-2 for McLaren, Norris, Piastri, and then Max Verstappen, and then the 2 Ferraris. It's been a horrible race for the Mercedes, haven't they? 6th and 11th in that sprint race. And then Pierre Gasly with a brilliant sprint P7, and Sergio Perez coming all the way back to pick up P8. He was actually at a decent sprint race from where he qualified. He needs to qualify well for the race now because that car is quick around here. They look really on it, don't they? They can cause some menace. And Perez really needs to get his act together over one lap. It should be brilliant. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment as always. See you next time.